Welcome to another week of This Week in Crypto. I'm your host, Craig Cobb of TraderCobb.com, and I'm going to take you through what's gone on. What I think has been, a bit of a good analysis of what's happened this week in the market through the news, but also have a quick look at the charts. Now, look, this week's been absolutely all over the shop, got to be honest. Let me have a look at this daily here and just talk to that for a minute. Look at this on, I think that was Saturday, we saw the market up 0.2%. Then we saw on the Sunday, or let's just go with the days, the 12th, we were up 0.37. Then we were down 0.9. Then we were up 0.4. Then we were down, seemingly with a little bit of momentum there coming in, what's today, Friday, back on Wednesday. And down she went. It looked like we might actually see some further downside there. And we did, we saw a breakdown the following day. And then out of the blue, whammo, it just absolutely took off like a rocket. God knows why. I don't know, and I don't care. But it's really sending mixed messages. It's a very messy market at the moment. So let's go in. Now that we see how messy it is, let's look at the 4 hour as well. Look at this. Trading wise, yuck. Every time we get in on an uptrend, higher low, higher high, we're then flipping back around and reversing that. Again, there's a lower low to go with that lower high. Bam, wrecks it. So now, let's go to the news and see what was in that week. Starting with Mickey.com.au, of course, here we are in the crypto section on a site that's got plenty of different things there. I want to talk to you about this article right here because this was the overall consensus when that selling came in. There was a bit of a fall, fair bit of a fall going on there. You can see we saw it headed south as predicted from whoever was writing this article, of course. We saw 10 billion US come off in the past 24 hours. Then it went whooshka and it flipped. So you can see here a bit of analysis here from somebody else there, but it's really just been a very topsy-turvy week. We saw the markets come off considerably and then bounce back a great deal. Now, the interesting thing about this is, we've seen opinions switch, chop and change quite frequently this week. Crypto markets dump as bears regain control, but now bulls are back in control. So who really is in control? Look, at the moment, I'd say it's a bit undecided. That big buying candle yesterday could easily be matched by a big selling candle again today. I'd like to see breaks of that daily candle to the upside, but ultimately we need to see a higher high come in on that daily trend to kick us into gear and to give us a little bit more leeway to work with. So the chart's matching what's out there. Now, we've seen CZ and Binance mention quite a bit in this series thus far, and it's because, look, CZ has been a busy boy. Of course, he has picked up a CoinMarketCap of late. He's been out there doing different things, and he is a driving force behind the market as a whole. Now, of course, it's never, I'll ask you this question to you, for you to review. Have you ever heard CZ say anything about Bitcoin or crypto that's been bearish? The answer is no. And he keeps it kind of vague too, I've got to say. Now, I've got no issues with the dude, right? I got no issues whatsoever with this chap. I think he's doing some good stuff. I don't know the bad stuff. I don't really care. He's a player. He's someone that I trade with. He's someone that I've interviewed. He's someone that I respect in this space. So, where am I going with this, I hear you ask? Well, the point is this. He's always bullish. Why is he always bullish? Because he is invested in crypto. He owns CoinMarketCap, crypto. He owns Binance, crypto. He's involved in, you guessed it, crypto. He wants it to go up. He has his best interests at heart for it to go up. Now, this angle here said mathematics works. Easy predicts QE, or quantitative easing, will drive Bitcoin prices up. Now, theoretically and logically, you would suspect that might be the case. Now, this will tie in with my next article in just a second as well. But listen here. It does make sense, okay? The more printing of money, the more flow or inflow of capital into capital markets, supply and demand, right? Well, if there's lots of supply and the demand diminishes, well, they're going to be in a problem. With Bitcoin, you can't increase the supply. So that limitation does bring a certain amount of value depending on the eye of the beholder, and it's us who are educating people to try and help them understand what exactly that is, that the value, why the value lies there. This time CZ has gone with the mathematical equation You can see here crypto exchanges going strong despite price volatility. Crypto exchanges want price volatility because it means that there's people buying and selling. That's how they make their money. There you go. Now you know. Markets caught off guard by liquidity crisis. We've been seeing that this week playing out in those funny looking candles. A little bit of liquidity coming out of a quote here. Everyone thought the Bitcoin price will go up when there's an economic crisis. But basically what happened is that when the mainstream market tanked by 5%, there was a lot of money disappearing from people's hands, and people were covering positions by selling their Bitcoin. Of course, that's what happens. So record trade volume bullish despite crash. I agree. I do stand behind his thoughts and theories in this particular manner. We do have a strong narrative for Bitcoin to move higher. It still remains fairly strong in that regard. Now, I'm really interested in what he has to say about QE spurring on the next bull run. This is from CZ, right? I think that basically everyone's kind of expecting things to happen immediately on a daily basis. I agree. People are very, very short-minded. They're very impatient, okay? So the minute that the Feds print money, the Bitcoin prices go up because people should be using those money to buy crypto, but no one has gotten that money yet, and they're still trying to figure out how to distribute their money. Now, another article that I read as well is that the US government is handing out checks to all Americans. Those Americans, they need to bank those checks. Real smart. Doesn't make any sense. Who uses checks? An archaic system. Well, that archaic system happens to be at the moment the US dollar. I got no beef with the US dollar. I got no beef with the US government. It's got nothing to do with me. I'll just steer clear and avoid those trolls in the comments. But what I will say is this. If you want a quick liquidity bump, if you want to help the people, the key word being quick, how do you do it? A check that you've got to go to the bank, and you've got to risk your life by being around other people because the whole nation wants the money and the whole nation goes to the bank. Now, I'm not sure. I'm sure they've got some way around it, but it's a check. A check takes days to clear. I don't know. It seems very, very slow. The distribution of that money, I don't think it's actually happened yet. So, those of you in the US, wait by your letterbox. I'm not sure how the mail system's been affected, but I hope it's not, because we'll just add more time to you getting that money. Flip it to Bitcoin. Well, once you got that check, turn it to Bitcoin. Hour or so, and you got the money there. So it's a different way of doing things. He's also said here, mathematics work. If you increase supply of the fiat currency and Bitcoin is a limited asset, mathematics will eventually work. So I think we'll see impacts in a few months. I don't argue that thought either. But just remember what people have invested in these markets in terms of, a vested interest to make these markets sound bullish. I agree with what CZ's saying, but he's always going to have an overwhelming bias to Bitcoin moving higher. Now, here's the final article that I wanted to talk about, and this comes back to what CZ was saying about volume and whatnot. I get people asking me all the time saying, Craig, when are the institutions arriving, or how do we track institutional money? Well, I'll show you how. Has the money arrived? Yeah, it is arrived, and it is arriving. There is money from the institutions, and the best way to do it is to look at the CME. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange has, of course, the Bitcoin futures contract. Now, the CME has been around the space for longer than most. You can see here the futures contract outstanding was 181 million, a 70% increase from 106 million, recorded on the 27th of March. Now, you can see it's a very short date range here, but you can see the flow, the influx and outflux of money. Of course, as we started the year, we saw that nice bullish move. We did see that influx coming in the capital, somewhat up around that 350 million mark, possibly a little bit more. Then it came off and the market came off. Now we can see where we are. We are seeing a steady increase. Now that's a very positive thing. When people are, when institutions are trading futures, it's typically because, they're either speculating. That's one. Two is that they've got a portfolio and they're hedging that portfolio, or they're working a portion of that capital through a product that has leverage. So here we go, a little quote from this article. I'm not going to read it all to you. An increase in open interest along with an increase in price is said to confirm an upward trend. Put simply, Bitcoin's recent rally has legs. Now we all like to hear that. We all want that. But again, we need to take this information in, breathe it out, and be cool and calm. A strategy is going to help you make decisions. News won't. But it's nice to see these positives coming into the thing. It gives you that overarching understanding of what's going on in the space. Now, what you can see here is an open interest holdings across the different exchanges that you see out here. And as you can see, you've got BitMEX. It does have quite a wedge of that volume. And look, I mean, that's FTX is in there too. Beautiful. Lots of volume in there as well. Very, very good. So we can see it did dip. Now we're slowly, steadily climbing back, which is very, very good to see. We've seen an increase from 1.7 billion on March 13 to 2.3 billion in March 15. That's over 2 days. That's $600 million of additional positions open, which is very, very good to see. Now, again, we can see the aggregate daily volumes through different exchanges and what's going on. Of course, some days are going to be bigger volumes than others, but it's something, once again, the volume has come off a little bit on futures, and I will tell you why, in my view, as a futures trader. I believe the futures prices or the futures contracts have come off because the markets haven't been great. The markets haven't been great for traders. They've been very choppy. I'm a trend follower. The 3 strategies I use are about following trends. When you've got a chart that is not providing you with good, clean, consistent trends, it's very difficult to justify taking trades in there. So across the board, guys, we've got a little bit of different information coming out today. It seems to be a bit of a slow news week, to be absolutely fair. Not a lot going on in the markets, but a slow, steady undercurrent of bullish sentiment certainly starting to increase. I don't think I have said so many words that start with an S for a very, very long time. Now, guys, that is This Week in Crypto. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're wanting to find out more about what we do, go to tradercobb.com. Don't forget to hit subscribe and flick on the notification so that you get access to information as and when I bring it to you. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, stay at home, lock down, beep. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.